Good morning and welcome to the Frontiers of Knowledge segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. Well, when I was a child, I never liked carrots, honestly. And I've seen that carrots and broccoli and things like that, even now the kids don't like to eat at least. But now I find that there was some utility in them, and apart from what we call the food value or the nutrition, there's another thing which emerged out of the recent research at Lancaster University in England. And they have said that this crunchy, sometimes tasty, sometimes not tasty carrots can strengthen cement and cut carbon dioxide emissions for the building industry. Wow. Could you ever believe it? That this household blend, which is used for making smoothies and juices, can be used effectively. And then they say that you don't need an extraordinary machinery for this purpose. As I said earlier, in Britain's Lancaster University, they have used a household food blender to mix particles from the root vegetable carrot with concrete. And they found a very strong and more environmentally sound product. As a matter of fact, the strength of concrete increased by 80% by addition of a very small amount of this material. And in some very small is less than 2%. They have not exactly said it's 1.5 or 1.75, it's less than 2% addition of the root vegetable particles to the concrete strengthens the cementing quality by 80%. And the addition of the carrot prevents any crack in the cement, and it means less cement is required, thereby lowering global carbon dioxide output. As a matter of fact, cement is responsible for 7% of the total global CO2 emission. And this is as per the International Energy Agency. Now, carrot particles have been developed from cellulose because carrot is made entirely of water but stays rigid and crunchy because of cellulose. And cellulose is something, a fibrous substance, which is found in all the vegetables, all the plants. And these fibers have strength characteristic in them. It is a building block of the strength of a vegetable. That's it. It is also used in the wood, but the extract from vegetables is much more environmentally friendly. Wood cellulose is not that effective. So you can just pop a few of these fibers into other material and it becomes an additive that gives performance characteristics. And as I said earlier, you don't need a large quantity. Just a tiny amount of cellulose alters the properties of cement because it changes the way the water behaves during the process when cement hardens. It is not the physical fiber that increases strength, is the way it holds water. And this material loves holding water. There's a chemical reaction happening between the fibers and the cement. What a great research and what an addition to the building industry. More solid, more permanent fixtures, less cracks, less maintenance, and lower carbon dioxide emissions. So these vapid scientists and the political leaders who are crying hoarse about the global warming, not about the global change, because global change is a reality, while global warming is a myth. But anyway, this is quite an achievement. And then children never loved carrots, and we found an alternate use, not discounting the earlier uses. And the children love moon, especially in South Asia. Moon is called the maternal uncle. So much close, and it's full of romance, it's full of mystery, and there's a certain mistake with the moonlit nights. And here comes China once again, and they're building an artificial moon. This moon, the artificial moon they're building, would be 8 times brighter than the real moon. You see, there's a certain joy in venturing outside at night, and navigating by the glow of the moon is romantic by itself. But the light from the moon is not bright enough, and you can't see the street sign. And you don't know under the tree's shadow whether the sidewalk is fit to walk or not. And now this artificial moon is going to fix all that. Science and Technology Microelectric System Research Institute company in China have gone quite ahead in building an artificial moon, as I said, which will be 8 times brighter than the real moon. And this is, in fact, not a moon exactly, it's a satellite which looks like moon. And this satellite would be built to light up areas up to 50-mile diameter. So they are going to experiment it from the city of Chengdu. That's the city chosen for this moon. And up to 50-mile wide, there'll be no street lighting. This moon would be providing sufficient light. And in the near future, they say they'll do it. Now, this is something extremely important. The latest studies have shown that more than 80% of the world and 99% of the people in USA, Canada, and Europe live in light polluted areas. If you remember, I had talked earlier that LED is much more harmful than the old lights. The old fluorescent light was not that harmful, but LED light, though it is cheaper, more economical, it's more harmful. So, as I said, 99% in North America and Europe live in light polluted areas, and the sky's natural glow of the stars and the moon has been altered by the artificial light for the buildings and the street lamps. Entire cities all over the world, especially cities like in Arizona and Ketchum, Idaho, they're actively working to reduce the light emissions at night. Both are trying to have dark sky communities. Now, China takes a leapfrog and says, why have a dark sky community? Let's have the moonlight community. So that all the light, the benefits of the light, replicated from the natural light would be provided. And the people would have no problem. They'll be able to enjoy the light and also not cause pollution. So this is something, again, which is quite a step forward in decreasing pollution, the latest pollution being the light pollution, as well as maintaining the old world charm. But then we live in a world where we are always haunted by the subject of obsolescence. A thing has gone waste. And especially food stuff. We always want to know what's the expiry date, best buy date. Honestly, best buy date is a bit of a misnomer. picture to yourself that you want to reach for your trusty nut butter or Nutella. And then you look at the bottle and you find the best by date has come and gone. And you throw it away. According to 2016 survey by WHO and FAO combined, they assess that 37% of the Americans throw away the food if the date on the label has passed, and at one time or the other, 84% people have done so. So people take best by labels literally, and it does more harm than good. This obsession of best by date is because we don't know how to decode. Now, what is best by date? These labels are set by the manufacturers, and they are set very arbitrarily. According to REFED, a non-food for profit organization working to reduce food waste, they say that except for the infant formula, the child's milk, or the formula to maintain and nurture a child, there is no regulation for date labels on the food products. So, some states have set up some regulations, but there is no national or international regulation what should be the best by date. Now, this is basically a marketing technique that you purchase a thing and then you throw it away and repurchase the same thing, while the same product which you have thrown away is equally good. Dates are meant to be indicative when the food may not be, not shall be, unsafe for drinking. So this is a protection for them. But the language is also very, very puzzling. Some people say sell by that date. Others says best by that date. Others say more delicious before such and such date. Dates are meant to indicate the only thing that possibly it may be wrong. But then does it mean that you should throw in the trash? No. As a matter of fact, the Natural Resource Defense Council has said that we are wasting so much of food. As a matter of fact, we are wasting 50% of the seafood, 48% of fruits and vegetables, 38% of grains in USA, in Europe. In Asia and Africa, the wastage is much less. But reducing the amount we throw away, we can save 2.34 billion tons of greenhouse gas emissions. So we are wasting food and we are increasing GHG emissions, pollution. So imagine you save food, you save money. And the food which, when the millions are going hungry, is absolutely not acceptable. Then 2.34 billion tons of GHG, greenhouse gases, is again something which is really not acceptable. So what we need is to look at the product, see whether it has gone or not. The first thing to see is whether there is mold in the product or not. If the mold is there, throw it. Use your eyes. Then use your nose, smell it. If the funky odors are there, then it's okay, throw it. It's not fit to be used because the cost of your health issue would be much more than the cost of the food. There are certain perishable items like poultry, meat, fish, eggs, dairy, cheese. So you need to keep them. And as a matter of fact, keeping these perishable items out of the danger zone. And the danger zone, according to FAO, is between 41 degree Fahrenheit to 135 degree Fahrenheit. So don't keep them in this zone, out of this zone for more than 2 hours, because otherwise the bacteria would multiply. If the temperature is more than 135 degree Fahrenheit and you keep these there more than 2 hours, the possibilities that the bacteria would multiply, and that can be harmful. But otherwise, best thing is go by your senses. Look for the mold, look for the smell, look for the color change. And if things appear to be normal, they are normal. Don't be neurotic about throwing things. You are adding to the pollution and adding to the waste and taking the food away from the millions of people who are otherwise not able to get any food. So these three new developments are quite interesting, and I'm sure they help you increase and widen the horizons of your knowledge. Thank you.